The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN, December 24th, Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas out there to everybody. Hopefully you got that holiday shopping done already. Half day of action today, only open until 1 o'clock. Almost gave myself pause there for a second. Can't believe we're coming into Christmas Day tomorrow. Half day of action today till 1 p.m. Eastern time. Expect low volume, probably expect low volatility. Not too much to come in terms of surprises in this market, but nonetheless, as we know, this market full of surprises. Right now, we got an S&P to kick things off. We're positive by about 5 points this morning. Backing things up. I mean, quite the week we've had, right? You open up Sunday night, fears of the new strain in the UK take hold of European markets. You had the DAX down about 3% kicking off this trading week. You had markets crashing to 35.96 early in the hours of Monday. You claim it all back by the end of Monday. Fast forward to Tuesday, we get President Trump's tweet coming at 7 p.m. Eastern time last night, Tuesday night, throwing a wrench into stimulus deal. Market gets it all back. And then you zoom it in. Last night at the close, what happened in the final 10 minutes of trading, folks? You saw the S&Ps trade from a price point of 36.96. You're almost sitting right at about within a few points of 3,700. And just like a flash, we were down at 36.75 overnight. You see the action, pretty tight trading range. I mean, things almost don't even look as tight as they actually are because there's been no movement whatsoever. But you back it up, we've basically had a 5-point trading range. You could call it a 10-point trading range completely overnight in the S&Ps as we come into the Christmas holiday tomorrow. Bitcoin right now off $340, 23,405. Quite the year for Bitcoin. Crude holding up relatively well. We got crude inventory numbers yesterday, spiking the price up to $48.50. Currently trading at $47.74. Jumping to gold off $1 at $18.77. You got silver off 12 cents at $25.79. We'll jump to notes and bonds. A little bit of a collapse yesterday. Really remarkable how we keep creeping near that 1%. Man, that 1%, just the mentality of a number like that, a round number. We got our man Basil Chapman, folks. He's filling in for Larry next. He loves those round numbers. You're going to see some real resistance if we get to 1%. Every time we get down to these lower levels, you see a little bit of a bounce. Right now, we're sitting at a 10-year yield of 0.936%. Over in Europe right now, you get the DAX up about 1.2%. FTSE is up about 0.1%, and the CAC roll down 0.1%. All right, we got to check out the VIX as we come into the holiday trading weekend. The volatility just getting sucked out of this market, 2269, and really remarkable when you put it on a daily. All the way back. I mean, it seems like this market, anytime we get to 20, we're not going to be in the tens to the teens, folks, until we get a little bit more clarity, it seems like, with what's going on with the virus, the economy opening back up. But all things considered, a VIX of 20 with everything going on in the mix right now, folks. Really remarkable that volatility is that low when you figure all the variables in play. We'll kick it off with, of course, the stimulus. So you have the leader of the Senate, McConnell, out there. He's facing down with his own party, trying to figure out where they go in terms of Trump demanding $2,000 checks, demanding international aid getting taken out of the spending bill. How that plays out in the next few days, folks, the market not really freaked out about it. Pretty interesting. We got Brexit in the final steps of potentially getting it done. You have, let me see if this is the headline too. While they anticipate, so it looks like fisheries, finishing touches on the agreement. Nonetheless, we'll pull up the pound. We see some volatility there. Pound US dollar. And we're coming up to the highs. Pretty interesting that we end the year. There's your 15-minute. You see the action we had on yesterday. You trade higher into the overnight session to 136, actually. We're trading at 135.76 right now. in the pound. Checking in on some of the FANG stocks as we kick off December 24th. Amazon trading at $31.92 right now. We had some action yesterday in some particular equities I always keep my eye on. You had Disney trading higher with an upgrade up to $176 almost. You're trading higher again this morning, up by about $1.50 to $175. You've had some of the ride-sharing companies really accelerating as restrictions more in place than maybe we anticipated for the next 3 to 6 months as this vaccine gets rolled out. I mean, you were just at below 50 in Uber. You trade to 54, 53, 51 right now. Some of the cannabis stocks, Canopy Growth, look at that acceleration. All these cannabis stocks got a big pop yesterday. There's cannabis. Jump around to even like Tilray. You can see some action. Aurora, action on all the cannabis stocks yesterday, trading higher. All right, we're going to jump into what else we got going on in terms of stocks making moves this morning. No real action, folks. I mean, it's December 24th. If you don't got to be in front of the screen staring at the market, folks, take TFNN with you. Pull up YouTube on the road. Go finish your holiday shopping. Take a walk in the beautiful outdoors. Enjoy your Christmas Eve because there's not much action, folks. You're going to see low volume in this market. And we'll see where we end up. But a lot of times, you're prone to things can happen that you can't anticipate. Let's put it that way. I don't want to say you're prone to luck, right? But there are more variables when you have such a light market that you can see this thing pushed around. That might be one of the reasons why we saw the market just fall out of bed yesterday. I was listening to Kevin Hinks, 11 a.m. every day, folks, fast market. And he was saying, which I didn't even think about, you'll even see wider bid-ask spreads in this market, which makes sense. When you have less participants, there's going to be a wider bid-ask spread. Less volume, less participants, less price discovery, and we saw the S&Ps fall out of bed in a huge way in the final 15 minutes. And ordinarily, if there's enough market participants, people might say, there's no reason for this to be selling off. I'm gonna be buying, but there's not as many market participants. So you get one big sell order, and there's no buyers to pick up the slack. You can have the type of influence that you can't normally have in other markets when there's so much volume to take place. Okay, again, back to the stocks. I bring it up because there's really, there's speculation on some of these equities of what's going on, but no real huge action. They talk about FireEye in the beginning. Basically, it's just talking about that this thing is moving as it has all week. It's pulling back a bit from 24. Nope, we've gained it all back. We're going to open almost flat. I mean, look at this acceleration on FireEye, man. It is a rocket ship from 14 just on this chart. You put it on a daily, and we were sitting at about the 12 area. You're sitting under 14. That is the news when the original hack broke, and it seemed that FireEye was discovered that they had been hacked. It comes out actually that no, everybody got hacked, and FireEye goes from 14 to 24 pretty much in the span of a couple weeks. Square. So this one's interesting. Square, the payment processor, strong company. Check out this chart, folks. Kaboom. From 32 to 230. Okay, they're thinking about buying a music service. It's really interesting in the technology world how all these companies are combining. Like, what's the business plan of a company like Square saying we need a music streaming service? But nonetheless, they're looking at it. They're looking to buy Tidal. Seems like that's the one that Jay-Z bought for about $50 million, $56 million to be exact, in 2015. Struggled to compete with competitors like Spotify. Square was trading higher on that news. Again, I don't know how they're going to tie that into their business model of payments, but nonetheless, they may be going after it. For all things considered, folks, you jump over to the Analyze platform, you go down the fundamentals. Square right now is a company valued at $105 billion. They're probably going to maybe buy that company for $50 million, maybe even a little less or a little more. Pennies on the dollar if it adds any value to that equity. Stay tuned, folks. Merry Christmas Eve. We'll be right back to go over what else we have going on for this show.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. Are you looking to buy or sell gold, silver, platinum, coins, or bullion? We can help. At Tiger Precious Metals and Stones, we specialize in the buying and selling of gold, silver, as well as collectible U.S. and foreign coins. We not only buy your unwanted or broken jewelry, but you can trade that in for gold and silver coins, too. Call Andy now at 727-329-8245 for a quote over the phone and to lock in the current market price. Call us now at 727-329-8245.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. The printing presses are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The U.S. deficit has risen 200% in 1 year with no end in sight. The markets are looking for an additional stimulus bill to get us through this once-in-a-generation pandemic. There is no free lunch, folks. The more stimulus dollars put into the marketplace, the less your dollar is worth each and every day. This is the time to protect yourself with a portion of your portfolio in the metal market. The Gold Report comes out each Monday morning. I bisect and dissect the dollar, silver, gold, the XAU, and the HUI. The Gold Report is a long-term hedge against the dilution of your buying power. The U.S. has put more than $6 trillion into the marketplace in the last 6 months, with more expected in the next few months. The market did and does need the stimulus, but it will have long-term implications on our buying power. The Gold Report comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to TFNN.com and order the Gold Report now. Protect your buying power. Order the Gold Report now.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. We have the S&Ps positive by 5, NASDAQ positive by 9, Dow positive by 33. We got the Russell positive by 7 coming into the Christmas holiday. Jumping around. So the story that's driving a lot of the action, folks, we're talking about stimulus. We're talking about Senate Leader McConnell. We're talking about the president. We're talking about the GOP and the rift there between whether we're giving out $2,000 checks, whether we're talking about the international aid. Listen, facts are important, folks. You know, it's a bummer that this is all getting held up. I agree, $2,000 checks. Why wasn't the president out there ahead of time championing this instead of at a last-minute proposal when it seems all but likely it's just going to be kind of up there at the pulpit, even though it's not going to happen? Just for some context here, okay? The foreign aid package was in President Trump's budget. Okay, the president's budget, just so people understand, is usually a wish list of things to get done. Congress deals with spending, and the president always puts together a budget which is kind of a wish list of what they would want. Okay, and then Congress is the one that deals with spending. Congress has the power of the purse. Okay, you keep it close to local. That way the spending power is with the power of the purse with Congress. Okay, I bring it up because even in something like the president's own budget, which again is not something that's law, it's usually almost a promotional tool that the president, in every president, Democrats and Republicans, put out for their wish list of what they would want if the president were king and he would get to write the budget for the country himself, which he does not. Thank goodness, across the board, Republicans and Democrats. And so what I want to understand is, just so you're seeing things, folks, all of this stuff was in the Trump budget proposal that he loves barreling against. Okay, it's really easy to talk about what you don't like. As a president, you got to lead. This president's the king of just talking about what he doesn't like. Okay, he put it in his own proposal. You had his own GOP-controlled Senate Appropriations Committee, chaired by Lindsey Graham, one of his biggest supporters out there. The Trump budget, 128 out of 195 House Republicans on Monday, and now they all come out and say, what's all this stuff about? okay? And they say it's all evil, it's all bad, we're giving away money to everybody besides Americans, and Americans aren't getting $2K. Well, it was all in there, folks. It's the president's own budget himself that he put out there. Every single line that he complained about was in the Trump budget proposal, okay? They're all there. Do the research. It's a bummer. People need the money. Hopefully we get it done. Patience wearing thin, folks, all right? There's a lot of people in a lot of pain out there. And yeah, I agree, $2,000, okay? What happened to leading from ahead? Is that leading from ahead? I challenge you to defend that one, okay? It's just patience wearing thin, folks. People need this money, all right? And, you know, if you have a problem with it, ask the president why he chose to put it in his own budget. That's a wish list out there. That's the one I'd love to hear. But I'm assuming he's not going to answer that question. Okay, here we go. Jumping around, folks. We'll jump to those FANG stocks. Amazon, look at this basing action that some of these tech stocks are really getting to, okay? When you look at where we are, you're looking at Amazon. We've been basing at this level since July. You had quite the run. We've been at basically between about 3,000 and 3,300. Call it a nice consolidation chopping zone. Yes, we did get up to about 3,500 on a couple occasions. Once we get over the variables, once we get over the risk that we have for this vaccine, you may see a next acceleration. We've seen a lot of basing. I mean, Amazon, you know, you can't go up forever, folks. We go from 1,626. You could say that we've basically been basing around 100% return from the lows. Even the beginning of the year, you're trading at only 1,856, folks, okay? So you drive up from that level to 3,185 from Amazon. So this is great. To our man, we got it in the YouTube Tigers Den. They're talking about, you know, who told you that? Go look in the president's budget, folks, all right? A lot of people, the biggest frustration in the last 4 years is just facts in reality don't matter, okay? If you have a problem with it, go ask the president why it's in his budget, okay? Everything is just reality doesn't matter, okay? It's in there. Go look it up. There we go. I mean, the ignorance that persists, but we'll go on. It's Christmas Eve. All right. Commodities. Talk about the year in crude, and you see the type of consolidation we can get when you go from an area of June to December. We finally break higher. Crude could be one of the most interesting stories of the year. You start off in the 60s. You go to negative territory, okay? Now, negative territory was right in the middle of April there. Not reflected on this chart because the future's rolling. You go to negative $38, I believe, was the closing price on that 1 month of record. We come roaring back, and we're going to finish the year at around $50 as crude rebounds on the hopes of an economy coming back to fruition in the next year. You jump back to where we are in gold. Talk about an acceleration as well. Look at the year in gold. I mean, you want to talk about a rebound. I'm going to take this off real quick. So as you can see, I got the Fibonacci number up here. You go from 1,450 to almost 2,100. You pull back exactly a 50% to 1,733. What I wanted to showcase here, folks, is the rebound we had in gold during the market collapse. Everything gets sold off March 20th, my birthday, drives up to a price of 1,700 in a matter of 3 days, folks. Okay, you back it back out. We make it to 2,100. And again, you know, we all saw exuberance to the downside and upside. Gold sitting at 1877. We'll see what 2021 holds. Silver up at 2581. Again, same deal. Down to 11, up to 30. Remarkable when you climb that high in a commodity over that period of time. A threefold increase from the lows. And notes and bonds. Talk about the story. We've been in a consolidation, folks, since March 26th. March 26th. Notes have been chopping between just above 137 to 139, which was the lower end of that boundary right now. Been creeping towards maybe a 1% yield on the 10-year. Haven't quite got there yet. If I had to guess, if I was a betting man, I would say we would get to that level in 2021. When we get there, though, that is a question for sure. All right. Jumping around to some of the currencies, we got action. Euro, US dollar, man, talk about it. We've seen the dollar pull back in a big way. We've seen the euro trading higher this morning. We're at 122 almost as Brexit hangs a little bit in balance. You pull up the pound, as I mentioned, pound US dollar. We're driving to a high of almost 136 this morning. You can see it. We were just trading at 127 in the beginning of October, basically, as we trade higher to this completion of, 5 years we're talking about Brexit, folks? To tie it back, people almost forget, and I don't blame them. Brexit was prior to the 2016 presidential election in the U.S. And here we are electing the next president, President-elect Biden, and Brexit's still looming. It's incredible, but here we are nonetheless. Jumping over to the VIX, quite a year we've had in the VIX. You see the highs we had early in June, 44.44. We get to 38.28 in September on the spike. Things get a little dicey coming into the election at 41.16. Then it all gets sucked out. What do we get? We get vaccine news. We get 95% efficacy. We get a presidential election. And the VIX gets sucked down to about 20. I imagine we're going to chop around between about 20 and 25 or 30 as we fight through some of the next 3 and 6 months, which is going to be a dire one, folks, especially considering how we come out of this stimulus relief bill, especially. All right, checking back in the markets, it's going to be calm action, folks. I would be very, very surprised if you see anything too dramatic. I mean, look at the action we have overnight. We got a half day today in the markets. We're closed at 1 o'clock. What do we got? 5 hours to go until the market is closed for Christmas. I imagine you're just going to see volume be light, trail off into that holiday season. All right, folks, stay tuned. I'm going to go over some other equities I'm looking at today. Maybe keep your eye on as we come into the new year of 2021. And TFNN, we're going to be here all next week as well, folks. A live day on New Year's Eve. The market, they don't even let us half day on New Year's Eve. Full day next Thursday on New Year's Eve. Closed Friday for New Year's Day. Stay tuned, folks. I'll be right back.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as...
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and to help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step by step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab. Bam!
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today, our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge. Just $89 exclusively at TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. We get the markets relaxing. S&P's positive by 5, NASDAQ positive by 13. I'm going to jump over to a cool story I was reading this morning on Bloomberg talking about YouTube's secret code. So Google, of course, the owner of YouTube, they've had quite a year for themselves, facing a little antitrust heat, but right near all-time highs, pulling back a bit. So it goes over. Top creator on YouTube, Mr. Beast. Have not heard of him myself, but geez, I should have when you get into some of these numbers, folks. So it goes over. Back in 2016, Jimmy Donaldson was out there trying to crack the code of YouTube. It really just makes you think, folks, you want to do anything, get in there, put the effort in, and it's possible. This gentleman, I'm going to call him a gentleman because, man, the numbers he's putting out with, the first video that he really rocked and rolled with was that he just sat there and counted to 100,000. That's what he did. I mean, talk about brilliant, okay? What's he do? He just sits there for 40 hours in a chair and counts to 100,000, and he gets 21 million views. And that kind of kicks it off. It's amazing what flies for content this day and age. But you look at it, I mean, this is talking about, I think he did, let me get down the numbers. You're talking about billions, okay, of views. Yeah, here we go. At the age of 18, he had 122 million views. At 19, 460 million. And now he generates 4 billion views a year. And he says once you get to the first million, it's tough. The second millions, it's easier, as is the case, right? You pick up viewers. It accelerates the algorithm. Kudos to him. Pretty cool story if you get to check it out on the YouTube platform. The Bloomberg platform. Nowadays, his videos, when you're pushing billions of views, he's spending sometimes $300,000 per video to compete. But just shows you, man, what do you got to do to be successful? Be creative, folks. Be creative. Any one of us could have sat there for 40 hours and counted to 100,000, and you get 20 million views. Amazing story. Kudos to him. Creator of the year on YouTube. Top creator on the YouTube this year. All right, folks, stay tuned. We got a treat. We got our man Basil Chat. He's coming up next, filling in for Larry. A short Christmas Eve holiday. Stay tuned, folks. I'll be back at 10 o'clock with Tom. Live programming until 1 o'clock today.